Hi everybody, welcome back to Mondays with Mike. Hope everybody's having a great summer. We've been gone for a couple of weeks. I promise I haven't been relaxing too much, even though it's kind of a dress down day here. I have Nate Camara actually, who's a commercial specialist with us today, because we often do shows about investing in real estate, and a lot of people are interested in that, and I'm all for it, but I think most people kind of just scratch the surface and they're thinking in terms of flipping a house or just having a single family home that they rent out. There's a whole universe of commercial properties that can be invested in, and this is not going to be, something that's going to get into every little aspect of that.
Mm-hmm.
But just a little primer on just basic valuation, commercial versus single family home. I'll let you kind of take it away.
All right. Well, when people are looking to buy an investment property or commercial property mostly, they're looking for the rate of return. And in the commercial world, it's called the cap rate, capitalization rate, but it's called the cap rate. And that's the rate of return. So just to give you a little analogy of what it means, if you put your money in a bank at 2%, you're getting 2% back. So let's just say you're getting a 2% cap rate. If you put money in a commercial property and the income you make off of it is 7%, that is the cap rate. So it's the same thing. It's the income you make percentage-wise off of the property.
It's a cool real estate term for rate of return.
It's the rate of return. Same thing as when you put money in a bank, but it's the money you get out of a commercial property.
Right.
So there's a couple things to know about cap rates. When you buy commercial property, you want it to be fully occupied to maximize the rate of return, the cap rate. There's different types of commercial properties. There's office, there's warehouse, there's retail, there's mixed use, there's a lot of different types. And the cap rate is based on a lot of different factors. One of the main factors it's based on is the location of the property. The better the location, the lower the cap rate. Because, it's just the some places that are better, they have more potential to increase in equity. So you're paying less for the rate of return, but more for the potential of equity. If you want to buy it in a very depressed neighborhood, you're going to get a very high cap rate, but sometimes you don't even want to go to that neighborhood to pick up the rents.
With risk comes reward,
exactly.
Right? So if it requires a lot of work, or if it's a location where you're taking a gamble that it's going to rise in value, you're going to have to be compensated for that.
In different parts of the country have different cap rates that go with it. New York, some areas of California, very popular urban areas, have lower cap rates. To give you a little generalization about New York, Long Island, New York City. New York City, Manhattan, and even parts of Brooklyn that are very, very trendy right now, have the lowest cap rate you could find. People will buy properties for lower than a 4 cap in those neighborhoods. There's two reasons why. One is because they're hoping the equity will rise, and two, a lot of it actually has to do with just prestige.
Right.
I own a building in Manhattan. Trophy properties, braggadocious. Right. It's that's part of it. I'm not saying everybody, but some people like to say that. Here in Long Island, the average cap rate obviously is totally dependent upon the town and the property. If it's warehouse or office or retail, is between 6 and 7% on average. You could get higher, you could get lower. What everyone loves, like the best, most prime investment property, is a national tenant, and even more so, a national tenant triple net, which most national tenants are, but not all, and mostly so is a national tenant ground lease. And really quickly, what the difference is, a national tenant is obviously...
Yeah, I'm already seeing another segment in our future, but let's jump in quick.
I just went to what the
we'll
best...
have you back, I promise.
What the best investment. And the best investment, you get the lowest cap rate because there's no risk. I mean, there's a little risk for everything, but if you're investing in a Starbucks, the odds of Starbucks nationally collapsing and going out of business tomorrow is very minimal, as opposed to if you're renting to a startup mom and pop shop that's selling candy out of a storefront.
Right.
It's a big
treasury
difference.
bonds versus junk bonds.
Exactly. So the difference between the national tenant, which are national, triple net national, and ground lease, are as follows. The national tenant, you should have a tenant that's a national company, it's McDonald's, Starbucks, anything national, and they're renting and they back it up with their corporate guarantee, meaning even if that store fails, the corporation will still pay you rent.
Right.
Okay, even if they shut down shop, they have to pay you rent. Most national tenants are triple net, and what that means is they pay you rent and they're responsible for everything. They also pay taxes above the rent, they also pay insurance, and they also pay all the property common area maintenance, the roof, the parking lot, everything. You don't have to do anything. What a ground lease, which is the holy grail of real estate, they're literally renting the ground from you.
Right.
And they build the building themselves, usually, unless it's already there. And you as a landlord have nothing to do with the property.
We're just gonna keep rolling because this is too good. We can mix it into the bloopers.
With the property, with anything at all.
Right.
So everyone wants
And
that.
if I'm not mistaken, like people don't even realize certain very famous properties are ground lease. I think the Empire State Building is on a ground lease, if I'm not mistaken. That's a pretty good one to have.
Yeah.
But you don't have to have, you know, an iconic 86-story office tower in New York City. It's a cool concept.
Mhm.
So I know that this was a pretty long segment. I think one of the things I want to just drive home is that unlike when you're looking for a property where you can look on Zillow or you can look on public record and see past sales, get a pretty good idea of comps for an area, something like the cap rate that's extremely related to the price of a commercial asset. It's something you really have to just get from other brokers and owners in an area, right? They don't really publish a cap rate for New York City versus Long Island.
No, you have to just know
You
the
really
market.
just have to network. So, you know, this is like a shameless plug for Nate here, but it's more important, I would say, even than in residential, if that's possible, to use a broker who's experienced and can guide you, even just on the basic spend.
Now, if you're looking to invest in a residential house, I hope, let me shut off my ringer. If you're looking to invest in a residential house,
Christina's doing that so that we stop. But
I hope that you're investing for the equity appreciation more so than just the rent, because unless you buy the house at a steal of a price, usually you will definitely make more money at a higher cap rate than if you invest in commercial real estate. Even multifamily is a very nice investment, but single family homes, unless you're buying it at a steal of a price or unless you're buying it to flip for future equity, you're probably not going to get the highest rate of return strictly on the income.
Right. All right, so we'll end it there. You gave me like a dozen other topics and subtopics that we can run on. So if
I
you
feel
guys,
like I had coffee even though I didn't.
if you guys like what you're hearing, you know, if you want to comment us or direct message us, we can do this again. We will get Nate back if you encourage him.
I'll put
All
my
right?
ringer off next time.
So thanks for watching. You know, we'll be back before the summer ends, but just in case, everybody have a great rest of summer.
Bye-bye.
Take care.